Hey, my God. And then TMA said something. I still have it in my journal. Is that she said, when she made that statement, my life changed. My life changed. And what was the statement? It's simple. She said that whether your children, your future children, are going to say, thank you, mommy, for marrying daddy or not. Like whether you're like basically like whether your unborn children, like your future children, are going to thank you for marrying their father or not is dependent on your yes. Like she was just talking about the power of your yes, the power of your yes as a woman. She was just talking about it, that the power of a woman's yes, like you won't even know the power of it now. It is in the future when your kids are saying, mommy, thank you for marrying daddy. That is when you know. So she was like, the yes you give right now, the yes you give right now, you are not just giving the yes right now. Like she just said it, like you're not just giving the yes, but like you are saying yes to the quality of your unborn kids. You are saying yes to the quality of, like, the quality of your future. I looked at it in my life. I said, can I like tell my mom that, mommy, thank you for marrying my dad? Like when she said that, I said, what? She was like, yeah. Can you thank your parents? Thank you for marrying your father, or thank you for marrying your mom. Can you say that? Can you tell that to your parents? And when she said that, I sat down. And I'm like, what? Yeah. She said, if you cannot say it, make sure your future kids are able to say thank you to you. Hey! Hey, wait. When she said that, I said, wow. Guys, the whole of the GIR, I can't remember, but you see that particular word she said, my life changed. That was when I started understanding, no, you cannot afford to say just any kind of yes. You cannot afford to marry just any kind of man, you know. And then she was not saying it that the man God has for you is in God's plan for you. When she also said that, she said, the man you will marry, the man God has for you is in God's plan for you. So if you don't know God's plan for you, you can't know who God wants you to marry. Oh my God. I was like, what? What? That was in 2020. Yeah, so 2020 was really a very 2020 it was a lockdown year, but it was a year that really changed my life. And then, I started exploring those understanding again. I started getting to understand that oh, you won't believe it, that I now became somebody that was now desiring marriage. The same me that wanted artificial insemination. I then became somebody that was now I was not admiring marriage. I was not looking at it that, okay, what does a good marriage? What does a good marriage look like? What does a good marriage? What does it really, really entails? What does it carry? Like, I now became so obsessed with the idea of what a good marriage, the power of a good marriage, like what power does a good marriage have? I started looking at the effect it has on your kids, the effect it has on your purpose, the effect it has on the possibility that the two partners that they carry, you get. And another thing I must really be grateful to God for is examples, possibilities. Do you get? So I now decided that instead of just listening to the men as come, instead of just listening to the divorces, that, I started asking myself, who are those that I can say are having a good marriage? And I get, because you can say things like, Toluwakemi, you don't go to their houses. How do you know they have a good marriage? Da, 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 da. It all depends on you. At the end of the day, it all depends on you. And that was one of the things that I realized, that it's not for me to start breaking down if this marriage is truly good. It's for me to just see that it is possible. So I started feeding my eyes and my mind to good marriages. And that was when I also discovered Sarah Jakes. Way. And then I just love reading. Well, see, whenever Sarah Jakes posts a picture of her husband, and she writes something, I'm always interested in reading it. My God. My God. And there was not a particular video of ours that I watched that she said that when she wanted to get, like, when she wanted to date her now husband, that what her husband said to her, that her husband said that, what can I do to help you become even a better, like, is that's not the exact word though, but that was basically what he said, that how can I help you to make sure you have a beautiful garden, something like that. And I'm like, there are men like this. And I remember that, okay, this was in 2020, 20, let's not go. Let me not jump it. 2023, that was another life-changing moment for me. Then that was in 2020 to 2021. So I started listening to Sarah Jakes a lot. And I saw how her journey changed, how she had grown, the women evolve and all those good stuff. And then in 2022, yeah, I was serving, right? And there was this particular guy I met in camp. The guy, like, I remember then in camp, right? People were like, I was seeing the quality of ladies, the quality of women, and when you talk about how does life after NYC looks like, the next thing you hear is, I want to open shop, I want to get married. And I'm like, don't you guys have things you want to achieve? Don't you guys have like stuff like that? I'm like, it's not like I don't want to get married though. I want to get married, like, but I'm not going to hold down my becoming because I want to get married. Like, I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Like, I'm going to become, like, I'm going to get married on my journey of becoming. Like, that was the way I saw it, right? And there was this particular guy I met. The guy was cool, was I'm actually I like fine boys. Like, the guy was cool, was handsome and everything. He was saying all the right things. I'm telling you, he was saying all the right things. But then I remember there was one dangerous prayer that I prayed. There was one dangerous prayer because I saw that I was already catching feelings. And I'm just like, how many weeks that we've reached this camp? Nah. And I remembered one dangerous prayer I prayed that. I prayed that like I prayed it, like my life depended on it. I said, God, on behalf of my future kids, your children. And beautifully enough, in 2021, sometime in 2021, there's this thing my church does, OTR. I remember then, when Mommy Obaje is our pastor, is our pastor, general overseer, I don't even know how to explain her. She's the wife of our general overseer, right, in GLT. And there's something she used to say that she would be like, get into the future in prayers before you get into it physically. Yeah. And then there was something also TMA says a lot, that TMA will be like, she said that she already knows the number of kids she was going to have before she got married. She already knows the sex of her children before she got married. She was telling us that she already knows that she was going to have 3 girls and 1 boy. Funny enough, when I'm recording this video, she already has those 3 girls. Guys, and she has been saying these things since like way back. She was like, she already got to know the number of her kids. She already know when she was, anytime she said those things, my chest would just be like, it's so I can know. And I remember there was one particular OTR. Oh my God. There was one particular OTR like that. We do praying and fasting in my church, October every year. And I remember that she said something like that. So I said, me too. I must know. That's why I started praying, God. I must know. I want to know. I started praying. And I remember that there was just one day, like, it was just like I opened, I'm serious with you guys. Like, I just opened the Bible and I saw a particular, like, it was just like the only thing I could see in that particular Bible verse was a name. Like, I opened the first one, I saw a name. I opened another Bible verse. Like, the Bible verse was just coming to my heart. It was not like I was reading that particular page. The Bible verse came to my heart, and I just went to the Bible verse and I saw the name. I underlined it. I went to the second one that came to me. I underlined it. I just saw 2 names. I was like, okay, is there a third one? I was like, okay, 2. I was like, woo, Swiki. Oh my God. Like, I just had to just write it down. And I was like, and I was just like, you have permission to adopt. I was like, woo, Woo! I love this. Like, I just wrote down those two names. And I'm still going to get it. I just wrote down those two names. I just makes sense. So yes, I know the number of kids I'm going to have. I know their names already, at least their first name. But I'm just like, God, oh yeah, just give me the surname of my husband. I was like, give me the surname of my husband. Like, that one day is with patience and you wait for it. I say, okay, no problem. We move. So I already had that idea, yeah. So 2022. So when I was not going to pray, when I was not catching feelings in that 2022 in camp, it was simple. The prayer I prayed was simple. God, because you know that he said in his Bible that children are the heritage of the Lord. So I said, God, no be I did not cook the name of my kids up. I did not cook it. You gave it to me. I said, God, because of this and this, if he is not the one, Lord, put space between us. No, I prayed that dangerous prayer. I prayed it. And when I prayed it, even I myself, I knew that I prayed it. And by the time I finished praying it, I don't know, it now felt like the guy that he will send me message morning, afternoon, like 2 days he was not sending me message. Even me, I was not like, wait though, is this how somebody just used to cast from somebody's mind? He was not sending me any message. I mean, so I did not even bother. I just kept quiet. I was just looking at him. I just kept quiet. I was just looking at him. I just kept quiet. I was just looking at him. He said, guys, sorry, I'm trying to do something. Yeah, right. I just kept quiet and I was just looking at him that whenever he's ready, he will let me know. And that was how till we left camp. This guy was not ready. He didn't talk to me. Then it was now some days after we left camp that he was now messaging me that how are you doing? That I say, God, thank you for helping me to dodge this bullet. Olúwa ẹ ṣé o. Ẹ ṣé tẹ́ jẹ́ kí n dodge bullet yìí. Ẹ ṣé gan. And that was what happened in 2022, right? Then in 2023, hey, so 2023 came, and one of the things I did in 2023 was that I said, no, this was not even 2023. This was sometime in 2019, yeah. And I saw this part. I watched a particular movie, Fireproof, by the Kendrick brothers, the guys that did War Room and all those good stuff. So I saw this particular book. In that movie, they talked about this book, a 1 year prayer, kiniko. So this is it, right? This is it. So I saw the book, and thankfully enough, there was one bookshop like that was selling it. So I bought it. And when I bought it, I remember, yes, I wrote a letter to myself in it. I wrote a letter to my future, like the married me version. I wrote a letter to a married me version that will be using this with her husband. And I did it, right? I did it. And I bought this book. I bought it as a seed towards myself in the future. Like, I started buying books towards myself. For example, I bought Supernatural Childbirth. I never get Beleo, but I bought Supernatural Childbirth. I just felt like, well, one of the ways to prepare for the future is like to just sow seeds ahead. And I just decided that, okay, I'll start reading books to sow seeds ahead, right? So 2022. It was in 2022. This same Pastor DU, you remember that everything started with her in 2019? That was her in 2022. She just sent me a message. She was like, Tola Kemi. Again, no, the same thing. What's up? How are you? Are you preparing for marriage? She just said, are you preparing for marriage? I said, ma, where? She said, I'm going to prepare. I said, okay, ma, how should I prepare? She just said, go and prepare. And I remember when she said it, I came back home and I was like, God, how do I prepare for marriage? How? I was just praying. I was just like, God, I open my heart to you. How do I prepare for marriage? Girl. He just said, okay. I remember it was the month of July 2022. Yes, June into July 2022. I woke up that morning and it just came to my heart to start researching who are the people, like when we say kingdom marriage, who are the people that are releasing content resources. So I started gathering resources. I remember the Spirit of God opened my eyes to Pastor Kingsley Okonkwo and Pastor Mildred Okonkwo. I just started reading and I started watching their videos. Like, I went to their first video. I went to their first YouTube video and I started watching. And that was around then. I think they celebrated, was it 10 years or 15 years? I can't remember, but they celebrated a landmark year that time. They now did a video series of how their relationship has been. I sat down with Bible, with pen, everything together. I started listening to them. Yeah, I listened to Pastor Kingsley, Pastor Mildred. I listened to Sarah Jakes too. I sat down with Sarah Jakes' video, and that was when I also discovered that Pastor Ture Robert, like her husband, also has some series about relationship, about getting it right in marriage. I sat down with those videos. There was this particular man also I discovered around then. I sat down with their videos too. Then my pastor also, I sat down with my pastor's videos on relationship, on marriage. I started listening. Like June, July 2022, I was like, I don't even know how to put it. And then funny enough, the church I was now attending, it now felt like every ministration was talking about marriage. Every ministration. My pastor will be teaching about something else entirely. Oh. It will be as if I'm in a classroom of marriage. I kid you not. And that was also when God told me to serve in that particular house. So the foundation Bible school, like a foundation Bible school, this thing, I took it. And every class was like a marriage seminar class. I said, what is it? Kí ni ó ṣẹlẹ̀? Who did I kill? Who did I kill? Oh, Ejo. Did I kill anybody? I did not kill anybody now. What's going on? So that was how I started learning. Then in that 2022 also, there was a particular book I bought. Yes, I don't know if you know this woman, Taiwo Eredele. So I have Taiwo Eredele books. At least I have more than 25 of her books in my collection. Yeah, I have a collection. I have more than 25. And I told myself, I said, this book, this book, I bought it for myself, but my kids, these are going to be what is going to introduce my kids to relationship, to the idea of relationship. So I started buying it. So I started buying in 2 copies because I don't want fights. I was like, I don't want fights. So I started getting these books in 2 copies, one for my and one for Jige. Like, I started getting it in 2 copies. So I started like that. That was how I started. I started getting it. I know I'm going to adopt. I know the age at which I'm going to adopt. I'm not going to adopt like a very newborn. I know I will adopt, but let's go. Focus. So I started getting these books in 2 copies. Right? I started getting it in 2 copies. And also I said, oh, I'm preparing. No problem. And I remember there was a particular book, though the book is not here right now. The book is in ABK, my parents' house. There's a particular book I bought there. That was when I also saw, what's her name? Funto Iboye. Around then she was pregnant, and then she talked about the pregnancy journal that she used during her pregnancy. Guy, I bought it. I bought it. So around that 2022, let me just say it. Around 2022, I saw that particular store, so I bought the book. Yes, I bought the book. I bought the journal. It's at home in my father's house. So another book God now opened my eyes to. I Am Married by DDK. I've read this book twice. And I'm just looking forward to the next time I'm going to read it. It's going to be with my husband. I've read this book twice already. It's going to be with my husband or my husband to be, one of the two. I've read this book twice. Guys, I did not just read this book. I studied this book. I can tell you that for sure. I studied it. So when you study, I studied this book. God. I studied it. I was now reading it, and I was just reading it. So for me, that told me that I felt like maybe when I finish reading it, that I'll just meet sincerely, I thought I would jam my husband immediately, but it did not happen. Then sometime in August, there was a particular praise night I went for, and in that praise night, God told me that I want you to embark on a journey of singleness. And in your singleness, I want you to attain wholeness in your singleness. That my will is for you to be single and whole. So instead told me to that I will start a community called Singles and Intentionally Waiting Community. So I don't want you to just be single. I want you to be intentionally single. I want you to be single, be intentional with it to attain wholeness. So that was how I started. That was how I started. So I started this journey of singleness onto wholeness. I started it. And then another book I read was Love and Respect. Love and Respect. That was another book I read. So I started this journey. In 2020. I started this journeys, right? And then 2022 I started. That was when God now hits me with one question. I can't like I can't forget the question. He hits me with a question that, what if the person I have for you, you are older than the person? Ewe! My God.